This is Mistakes in the Making.
Hi, I'm AJ Bermudez, and I'm here to talk about mistakes. As a very prolific mistake maker, there's a lot I could talk about, but I think what I would like to talk about today is envy. I work as a screenwriter in Los Angeles, and like many of us in the film industry, we have probably been close to a lot of pretty major successes, whether that's spatial proximity or someone we know, someone we love. And under such conditions, I have at times made the mistake of turning an outward event inward, focusing on my shortcomings instead of something that's not only unmitigatedly good for someone else, often for someone that I really respect and admire, but ultimately that has nothing to do with me. It's been very important over the course of my career to learn that empathy is not a muscle that we exclusively exercise when things are going poorly, which is, I think, a mistake one, myself included, can be prone to making, but that empathy is a muscle that it's very important to flex when things are going well, both for yourself and for others. I think it's tremendously important in this industry to practice celebration and joy in other people's successes. Not only because I think that envy is a tremendous waste of time, but it's also really important to acknowledge that we live in a subjective industry that is not a meritocracy by any stretch of the imagination. This is not to say, of course, that the quality of work doesn't matter. Of course it does tremendously, but it's not math. It's not a meritocracy. Success is something that is extraordinarily subjective. And I think it's important to acknowledge that the film industry specifically, like so many industries, entertainment and otherwise, is built on disparities. This industry has a tremendously long history of disparities in representation, in resources, in connection and connectivity, in access, in financial resources. This is an industry that I think has a lot of hope and a tremendous capacity for good and for community and for joy. It is also an industry that not only includes disparity, but is built on it. It's predicated on disparities. So I think that when we talk about envy, we're both talking about inward and outward, personal success versus collective success, bitterness versus joy and hope. But I think also what we're talking about on a fundamental level is, what are we doing? It's been really important to me to think about the crux of filmmaking as an enterprise that is essentially creating opportunities for others. I think if you're creating opportunities for others, and that's really your focus and purpose. And by the way, every film is a creation of opportunities for others. If you write a film, for instance, what you're ultimately doing in the long run is creating jobs. You're creating crew and cast jobs. You're putting food on tables through some lateral chain of events. You're building out other people's CVs, and you're creating a community, whether for a short time or a long time. And I think that all of that can be really, really motivating and inspiring. But it is really tempting to be hung up on one's personal success. For anyone who lives in LA specifically, proximity to success can be a major hotbed for envy and not joy. LA is crazy. I mean, success will cut you off in traffic in LA. The house across the street from your shitty apartment will go for, $5 million unconscionably. And you'll just be like, what am I doing? The population in Los Angeles is majority stone cold foxes, and not just the actors. Like, it's an unreal place for comparing yourself to others. The toddlers running around Los Angeles, for the most part, have more money than I will see in a lifetime. But it also is an industry and even a geographical location where it is possible to build community. I do believe that at the heart of filmmaking, those who are most successful, and I've certainly enjoyed my most successful moments in this headspace, are really about generating opportunities for other people. And I think that begins with the question of what we consider success to be. If it's self-focused, I think you're dead in the water. If it is focused toward reconciling disparities, building empathy, creating safe, uplifting, and innovative communities for groups of people, and doing your part to evolve the industry, not only to ameliorate past disparities, but to imagine a possible future. All of these are alternatives to individual success that are not only healthier for your work, but also, I think, essential to the industry writ large. I think at the core of that is empathy, absolutely. And I think that good creators can look around and get inspired. I think that empathy cuts both ways. I think that it's important to look around and get curious, to learn from other people, to see, shortcomings as opportunities, but also, to remember that, external success experienced by others is just super not about you, just almost really never about you. It comes down to this. What motivates you? Why do you do what you do? I think if the answer to that question is you have a huge problem. You will always be unhappy. It's no secret that envy breeds individual unhappiness, but it also really damages the work. It's not the spirit of what we're doing in film. We're creating something new, and one of the big powers of art is to envision alternate realities that are better, more equitable, more interesting. And I think when we're self-focused, we rob ourselves of the potential of generating imagination in that space. Ultimately, I think envy is a colossal waste of time. Success, by comparison, is not success. Even if you are winning, even on the occasions when you are in first place, that's still not really what success in this industry is, I don't think. I think that success across industries, but especially in the film industry, is ultimately shared success. So yeah, I guess, to wrap up, I think a mistake that I have absolutely been prone to and still struggle with, who couldn't? And that I think we're particularly susceptible to in an amazing industry, a creative industry, and in some cases, an over-glamorized industry, is envy. I think we're constantly subjected to the risk. I know I am, but I've felt so excited at the prospect of focusing purpose outward. I'm a huge fan of dedication. Anytime you can do something for another person or a community of people, I think it's tremendously empowering. I think it's good for the work. I think it's good for others and for you. I think we create the opportunity to do something really, really special, something new, and something lasting. So that's my thought about mistake making in the film industry. Please do feel free to hit me up anytime. Rub your success in my face. You can find me at amandajbermudez.com. Thank you so much for having me.
You've been listening to Mistakes in the Making. If you have your own mistake that you've made while in the film industry and you want to let others know so they don't make the same mistake, reach out to us at contact@bonsai.film and we'll take it from there. You can also reach out to us on social media at _Bonsai Creative on Instagram and Twitter. And you can search for us on YouTube and Facebook by searching for Bonsai Creative. You can also visit our website where we have industry insights and links to all of our podcasts and so much more at www.bonsai.film. And thank you for listening.